What's up, YouTube? What's going on, man? You guys already know who it is. It's your boy, Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion. Back with Josh Cribbs. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. What's up, Josh?
What's up, baby? I'm glad to be back. Glad to be talking sports. I kind of was ducking you, man, because my boys wasn't doing good, but let's get at it, man.
I kind of sensed that, man. I sensed that a little bit from you.
I was ducking you, man. Like, you know, when your picks don't turn out and your teams that you selected to win don't turn out, you like, oh my God. But you did pretty good, right? What you got for me?
Oh man, yes indeed. Week 7 recap, man. I went 5-1, ladies and gentlemen. 5-1, man. 5-1.
Man, you gotta head to Vegas, man, with them odds.
Yes, indeed,
everybody
man.
Gotta pay attention. Go ahead.
All right, so yeah, man. The first game I had up was the Commanders, you know, and the Commanders versus the oh no, I'm sorry. The first game I had, the Commanders versus the Packers, right? I mentioned that. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was limping into FedEx Field, you know, with a team that wasn't all the way equipped. He hasn't looked like MVP Aaron Rodgers that we're used to. And the Commanders upset the Green Bay Packers, Josh. How did you feel about that game?
Man, I was surprised because, you know, we could talk about another quarterback who kind of is limping right now with their team in Russell Wilson.
Yes, sir.
And we're waiting for these guys like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers to kind of come back to, you know, greatness, so to speak, you know, and lead their teams to some victory. Because, you know, really, Tom Brady was getting plagued by the same type. We're like, man, these goats, these so-called goats aren't goats right now.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people are underperforming. But I was surprised, Tay. Listen. And you must be a sports guy because I was surprised. I was like, man, ain't no way, you know, the Packers can't pull it off versus, you know, a Commanders team where a few weeks ago you was like, you couldn't command nothing from that team.
Absolutely.
But here we are, that same team beating a semi-good Green Bay Packers. So that was a good win for your Commanders.
Yes, sir. I also had the Ravens and the Browns, man, on the list, man. And I went against the dog pound, baby. I went against the dog pound. And I felt like they are faltering right now. And I mentioned that it seemed like it is time for Deshaun Watson to get into the offense to be able to help uplift that offense. The defense is really solid, but they have a little issues on the offensive side of the ball. What you see? But
see, the defense isn't solid enough.
Okay.
Because of the offense. I would say inconsistent.
Right.
You know, they've shown to have a good team on paper. However, week to week, it has been a trying time for them to actually put what's on paper into reality. And that's the Browns. That's what's going on with the Browns right now. They're a good football team, and look, I'm biased.
Okay.
But they're a good football team on paper, and they should be playing well with the team they have, but they can't get it done. Listen to this. They've lost 4 games by less than a touchdown. And when I say less than a touchdown, I mean they lost 2 games by 3 points. They lost 1 game by 1 point and another game by 2 points. Yeah. When it's that tight of a margin, you start talking about coaching. Only because the game seems to come down to 3 or 4 plays throughout the game. You just don't know which game. However, Stefanski did give them the #1 offense going into that game. They had the #1 offense for a few weeks with Stefanski, with Jacoby Brissett. However, it's just not showing up in the win column. So, however they need to get it done, that's my biggest disappointment. I know we came up to it earlier, but they're not playing, man. It's been gloomy here in Cleveland, man. It's because we want, you know, we know they have a team, and you said it. Deshaun Watson can't come any sooner, and it's not just because Jacoby Brissett, it's that he's the backup quarterback, and we're asking him to do so much against well-established teams, and it only gets harder from here for my dogs.
Great point, Josh. Moving on, I had the Saints versus the Cardinals, man. I had Kyler Murray. I picked him for my fantasy team. He had his boy D Hop back in the lineup for the first time, even though they took a hit at receiver, losing Brown for, I
Yeah,
believe, the year.
Marquise Brown. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Marquise Brown,
he maybe tore his
Hollywood.
ACL. Yep.
Yeah, so but I still picked them. I thought D Hop was gonna come in and do a fantastic job, like he wouldn't lose a beat. And actually, Murray was looking for him. He had a 10 to 11 receptions in that game, man. They look pretty decent. What you think about the Cardinals now when they, since they have D Hop back?
I think that their team still flows through Kyler Murray. I
Absolutely.
think they play good. They play good enough on defense that if he's firing off on all cylinders and making the right decisions with the football, because sometimes athletic quarterbacks like that, and Lamar Jackson has had trouble with this a few games too, turning the ball over and not moving the chains because they're trying to do too much when they need to just throw the ball away, and just play the next play. They've
Right.
been plagued by that for a few weeks, making bad decisions with the football. So it flows, their offense and their team flows through Kyler Murray. If he's having a good day, they're winning the football game.
Absolutely. I can dig that. Next up was the Falcons and the Bengals. I picked the Bengals versus a tough and gritty Falcons team. They have been very, very surprising. They were 3-3 coming into the contest, but that team has played in very, very close games as well, like you mentioned with the Browns. And Mariota has the offense flowing with his dual threat capabilities and things of that nature. But I did pick the Bengals. Joe Burrow and Chase stepped up big time for them guys. What you see about that game?
I think the Bengals are starting to be more consistent. Again, last year, I always thought the Bengals were pretenders, not contenders. But they proved me wrong. They started to win late, and they won the games necessary to get in the big show, the Super Bowl.
Yes,
So
sir.
they're playing like a veteran team, like a team that's relaxed. When they get in these games like against the Falcons or against teams that they should win, they
Yep.
start to press it. Joe Burrow never forgets his number one targets. He's taking care of the football. They'll be a tough opponent, especially for my dogs come Monday night. But the Browns usually have the Bengals number. However, this is a different Cincinnati Bengals team. I'm worried not about the run game in Cleveland, but about just closing out the football game. I'm worried that they will play tough. They will play tough, but it's going to come down again to one or two or three plays where it's going to come down to coaching.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had the between the Chiefs and the 49ers up there. I picked the Kansas City Chiefs to go into San Francisco and get that win, which they did. Mahomes has proven that even though you can miss a weapon like a Tyreek Hill, but he has enough weapons around him to be who he has been since he has been in the league, which is an elite quarterback. San Francisco, by the way, had got Christian McCaffrey in the trade.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting seeing how they unfold down the road. What did you see in that game, and what you think about that one?
I think that the biggest transformation for me is the San Francisco 49ers, because they actually look really good right away, plugging and playing Christian McCaffrey. I felt like they was going to give Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money. However, I'm not sold on Jimmy G at quarterback. I always told you this. They got Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not it. He shows glimpses of a dynamic quarterback that can run an offense effectively, and then it disappears.
Yeah.
And then they get behind, and then he's not the quarterback to bring anyone back from nothing. That's why they was trying to get rid of Jimmy G. That's why they was on Trey Lance. And when Trey Lance gets healthy, he's going to be back in there, or another quarterback will. Jimmy G is not the answer for San Francisco, and until they get a quarterback who can effectively be the guy, I'm afraid San Francisco going to always come up short against a worthy opponent like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right, and I can definitely understand that and dig that. The one game that I did lose, so this would be my disappointment game, because I thought that Justin Herbert and the Chargers, every time that I think that they're getting ready to turn that corner and be that team that every analysis almost in the game believe that they can be, they drop an egg
They
at
let you
home on their
down.
home field versus a tough Seattle Seahawks team, by the way, led by Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Pete Carroll has done a
Yes.
wonderful job with Geno Smith this season. What you think of your boy Geno?
You know, he was a rookie when I was with the Jets.
Yes,
So
sir.
I told you when I was playing with the Jets, he wasn't it. He
Yeah.
just didn't have it yet. Coming
Yep.
out of West Virginia, he had potential, but you can tell sitting behind Russell Wilson in his prime has
Yep.
done Geno Smith very well because he comes in every game with confidence, a chip on his shoulder, trying to prove everybody wrong. Because
Yep.
let's be honest, we didn't see Geno Smith as being a top-tier quarterback at all.
Oh.
But look at what he's done for Seattle. He's doing that. It's not their running back, receivers, nobody. He's delivering good footballs. He's effectively running the offense, and he's showing everybody week in and week out that he's a quarterback to be reckoned with, and he has a little swag with it. He's not been one to be shy with the media, but he's going in and winning ball games. Pete Carroll's done a great job with Geno, and not just that, but naming him the starting quarterback early and telling people like, nah, we didn't need a Baker Mayfield. We don't need another guy to bring in. Geno's our guy, and look where they're at today.
Absolutely. So for the fantasy picks, right? I mentioned Kyler Murray. I had him. He did a subpar.
Right.
Saquon Barkley at running back. Tyreek Hill had a nice game. Ertz disappointed me. I thought Ertz was going to have a big game because D-Hop was there, but he didn't, unfortunately. And I had Dallas defense, which did a tremendous job last week. Now, looking forward to the predictions. You know we have a game tonight. We spoke about the Ravens earlier. They're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's your analysis on this game tonight? Two MVP quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, going at it.
So which one are you going to see tonight? Which Lamar Jackson will you see? Will you see the quarterback that's going to take care of the football when the game is on the line, move the chains, throw the ball away when there's nothing, lead the team in rushing? For him, it's a tale of two cities. If he takes care of the football, if he keeps moving the chains and being a top rusher, but throwing it when he has to, throwing it away when he has to, man, they're going to give Tampa Bay a run for their money because it's tough right now for the GOAT, Tom Brady, to be able to play like he did in his heyday. He's just not that guy. You saw earlier, breakdowns with his receiving core. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, and this is an anomaly, to drop a wide open pass like that. Who was that? His main receiver, I forgot his
Mike Evans or Chris Godwin?
Mike Evans. Yeah. Wide open, dropped the pass. However, they never scored a touchdown. They went last game and didn't score a touchdown. It was like 29, 30 and something to 3. And that's unheard of. So they're looking to bounce back. He has a lot of criticism right now, Tom Brady. So for Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, it depends on who you will see. If both of them is fine on all cylinders, it's going to be a great game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter and who putting up, which offense is putting up points, who's answering, what defense has their number. But like you said, it's going to be between Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady. Whoever plays the best, it'll show in the win column and in the scores. So it's up to, I don't know who's going to win. It's going to be a toss-up because you saw them play differently. You saw them take L's unexpectedly and get wins unexpectedly. So my hat in this one, I feel like the Ravens, just because Lamar Jackson is the it factor. If he decides to take over, I mean, there's nothing that they can do, especially with the GOAT being out of his prime. So I'm going to roll with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, unfortunately. I don't like to do that, especially because they're AFC contenders. But, I have to go with them, even though they beat my Brownies, in the last minutes of the game. So I got them over Tampa Bay. What do you think?
I also have the Ravens over Tampa Bay. The Ravens, by the way, on the road are 2-1 on the road. Tampa Bay is 1-2 at home. Tampa has a lot going on there, even though they're getting healthy at receiver. But I just think Baltimore applies enough pressure to Tom Brady. He doesn't get a chance to sit back and pick them apart. And I think Lamar and company make enough plays to win that game. So,
I
yes, I'm
agree,
with you on
man.
that one.
I agree. I think Tom Brady definitely is going to put up a fight, but the way he's been playing, the inconsistencies, I know he's still the GOAT. However, I think Lamar Jackson with that win over Cleveland, I think they just, they got things going now. So
Yes, sir. So, I have the Commanders and Colts, man. And the Commanders, winners of the last two. Taylor Heineke is under center. Carson Wentz obviously had surgery. He's going to be out a few weeks. I feel
that's
like
probably the best thing for them, too.
I believe that it is for two reasons. He is more mobile, and he's been in the system longer than Carson Wentz. I felt like Carson didn't adjust to the system as fast as you would expect a veteran to do so, and his immobility caused it really showed how bad the offensive line is. But like
Absolutely.
with Heineke back there, he gives you a fighting chance to be able to move around. If he can limit his mistakes on the road in Indianapolis, I believe Brian Robinson's, this is his third game back. I think his legs are starting to get up underneath of him. I expect them to pound the ball control type of offense. The defense has stepped up really, really well as of lately. Also, they've
They
been
have.
so
I
I gotta lean, with my boys, man. The Commanders. It's time to
I
command.
I look, and I agree with you for those reasons. Not just because Heineke hides their imperfections on the offensive line because he's mobile, he can get
Yeah.
out the pocket and move, as opposed to Wentz just sits there and he's not mobile. He takes that, those sacks.
Yep.
Matt Ryan and the Colts, they're not have been playing up to par at all. I have Pittman on my fantasy. I thought I had on another team. I got Jonathan Taylor. They're all playing subpar. They're all
Yeah.
underperforming week in and week out. I got the Commanders winning. They should win. It's up for them to lose. I think they'll go there and lose before the Colts do anything to overpower them. I think if they don't win it themselves, they'll lose it themselves. It's not going to be in the hands of the Colts because they're not playing good football right now. I don't project the Colts starting to play good football all of a sudden right now. So I'm going with the Commanders, baby.
And to your point, that's why they bench Matt Ryan as well at quarterback. So it's going to be interesting. You don't have no film really on the gentleman that's starting. I cannot think of his name right offhand. I'm
Exactly.
sorry about that.
Somebody, and that sometimes that's the best thing for a team because they don't have a lot of film on him, and
Yeah,
they don't know
so
how he's going to play. He may be mobile.
he is mobile.
He
I
he
definitely heard
better
he's
be.
mobile.
He
He's a
better
mobile
be because
quarterback.
they're going to, and that may work to their best. But right now, from what we have seen with their quarterback being a question mark, I'm rolling with the Commanders.
All right. Up next was the Giants and Seahawks, man. Prime game. We spoke about Geno Smith and Pete Carroll earlier. They're at home. They're 2-1 at home. We know that Seattle has a history of being one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. The Giants coming in smoking hot, 5-1. How do you see that game playing out?
Oh man, I thought you was gonna give me your prediction. Geno is playing great. And I think that because they're playing home, they're going to have they're going to come out with on fire with a good first half script. However, like you said, the Giants are on fire. Barkley is playing better than ever. It's like that's what we drafted him to do. And I think the Giants will take it with the head coach, Brian Daboll, taking care of business.
Yeah. And see, I have all those points bulletin down, board material as well as
Right,
far as the
right.
Giants. But for me, just because I think that Seattle being home was Geno is more comfortable at. I think
Absolutely.
the rookie running back that stepped in last week, he had a phenomenal game last week. We don't know what he's going to bring to the table this week. He had like 170, 160 last week.
Right.
And so I don't know. I lean towards the Seattle Seahawks to take care of the Giants. I think their magic carpet
I think they
ride.
can. I think it can go either way. I just think the Giants are on fire, like you said. Brian
Yes, sir.
Daboll got them together like they was always supposed to. So, but I'm kind of on the fence about that. It was kind of like a 50-50,
Yep.
with that. And I lean towards the Giants only because of Brian Daboll was our coach at Cleveland. And I'm excited for him to do well. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm not gonna be mad at the Seattle Seahawks take care of business. Again, I don't have a dog in that fight, so I just want to see some good football.
Yes, sir. And primetime game between Aaron Rodgers, we spoke about him earlier, versus the Buffalo Bills, which is coming off a bye week. Interesting. The Bills are 5-1, but they are only 2-0 at home. I believe Bills Mafia will be rocking come Sunday night. And I predict the obvious that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs,
The
and that
obvious.
defense will
The
smash
obvious.
Green Bay.
Absolutely. The obvious. Green Bay right now is not playing good football. We all know Aaron Rodgers done went and he has had a new life experience, probably to his greatness. In a different perspective.
Yeah.
But I don't think that, they have enough juice in the tank, enough gas to propel them to a victory. Ranks, Buffalo Bills.
Yes, sir. Last but not least, man, I just want to roll real quick. I know we got to go on the fantasy picks. Quarterbacks, man. I got Jalen Hurts. He's already on my fantasy team. I'm going to start him this week. Running back, Raheem Mostert. I'm going to start him as well this week. Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. Kittle. And then once again, man, Jets. Jets for my defense, man. The surprising football Jets, man.
That is a surprising move. I normally would shy away from them until they prove that they've been doing it. So that's a surprising pick. I'm gonna keep that. Them in my. I'm gonna be looking at them to see how well they do on the defense side of things. But your other picks, I have Mostert. I have a lot of those guys already. So we're gonna see. Time will tell.
Time will tell. But hey, man, once again, man, it's great to have you back on the show, man. I look forward to future shows, man. We got to get into it. Like I told the people before, man, I got some questions I want to ask you, man, that, some may not know, man, your background, your baseball, your basketball, football, track, all that type of good stuff, man. But once again, man, it's Sports God TV with Josh Cribbs, where we talk sports like religion. And we out until the next time.
Until the next time.